I am out here at Susan Creek Falls. I want to try a new method to take long exposure photos. Going to have it take, oh my God, I almost just lost my camera. What's up, YouTube? I am out here at Susan Creek Falls. One, I want to get this beautiful autumn foliage, beautiful yellows and greens out here. But then two, I want to try a new method to take long exposure photos. Rather than taking like a 30-second exposure, which is challenging because you get water on the lens. And so to combat that, I think I got a new process, and it's going to be taking several 1-second photos or somewhere around there, and then blending them together after the fact in like Photoshop. So this is going to be a two-step process. Step one, taking photos of the waterfall. So onward. Okay, so I've got my circular polarizer on here only. I've established a shot. I normally would put an ND filter in right now, and then I would take like a 30-second one. I've already tried that off camera. I think I'll be able to get a sharper image from this process, and so I've set up my timer. Going to have it take, oh my God. Wow. Well, I almost just lost my camera, and that's a blurry shot. Okay, so I gotta reline this up. Oh boy. And so I've set up my timer. I'm gonna hit go on it at 1 second, F10, ISO 100, and I'm shooting at 14 millimeters. I'm gonna take 10 1-second photos right now. I'm gonna do this 3 more times, and then we're gonna get all the shots we need. There's not much mist at this range, so not quite a deal, but we're learning here. So I noticed the water close right here in front of the camera is kind of blurry, and so I'm gonna refocus. I was focused on the rocks up there. I'm gonna refocus close here and take another series, just so I have a more blending I can do after the fact in Photoshop. And so I'm gonna switch my focus, just go to some close waves here, rippling, and initiate that series, and let's keep it rolling. That does it for stage 1, taking the photos. This is the end of this phase. I'm gonna get home and we're gonna do a little phase 2 action. Beautiful photos out here. This water isn't as blue as I'd like it, but I could fix that. It's a little brown. Overall, God, it's just amazing out here. Hey, alright, so we're in Photoshop. Welcome to the studio. This right here is one of the images. I went ahead and edited all of my raw files to look similar to this right here. So a little bit of before and after. But first, I'm going to do the stack job. What you do for that, you go to File, Script, Load Files into Stack. And then from here, you browse. Alright, so I've selected all my JPEGs for the back of the photo where I focused on the waterfall and the rocks around it. And then I'll hit OK. It loads them all here. I'll hit Create Smart Object after loading layers. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It's going to think about all this. It's going to bring them all into Photoshop, layer them, and then create a smart object. So these are all the photos. You can only really see one of these photos right now, and it appears as if I have a little smudge here on my filter that I was using. I'll clean that up after. Alright, so then once you have a smart object like this loaded in, you go to Layer, Smart Objects, Stack Mode, and Mean. and this is averaging. It's gonna think about what it's doing, and it's gonna average all the photos, get somewhere in between all of them, kind of blend them together, and there you go. You have a what appears to be similar to a 30-second photo smoothed out with the water here. And so this was where I was focused. I think I focused on this rock or some of these rocks, and so now I'll go to File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack, and these photos were the ones that I focused on the foreground a little better. You can kind of see there's a little bit more sharpness there in the water. Okay, so now I got the same thing going here. Smart Objects, Stack Mode, Mean. Shouldn't take as long because there's less photos. And there we go. Now that I've got both of these photos, both this one and this one, ooh, you can see one's a little darker. Go ahead and hit select all, copy it, and then paste this over this one. So now I have my first layer right here, and I guess I can rename them to front. This would help you. Okay, so then let's go ahead and get rid of the back. So this is one layer we have here. I'm gonna get my eraser tool, make sure I have the right layer selected. I wanna go a little bit bigger on my brush, and I'm just gonna delete so that everything on the front photo, let's see, what's 100%? That's 100%, okay. And you can see I got a little bit crisper lines there. You've got about an equivalent of a 10-second exposure, and then in the back you've got an equivalent of about a 30-second exposure. And so now I will merge these two items together, merge layers, and then I go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and this is where I'll do the final touches to like this smudge right here. Sometimes you get lucky with just going like this, but I doubt that, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so there is my final image. I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK. It's gonna show you those changes. I added a little bit of blue to the water here and also highlighted the whites. You know, bring a little bit of attention to that foreground that slowly draws you up to that key focal point, which is the waterfall. So let's go ahead and go to the original image so we can see an exact before and after. There's a long exposure type of photo that wasn't actually a long exposure, just several photos blended together versus one photo. Anyways, that does it here. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it out to the Ryan in the field. I think I got the shot, and so I'm kind of pumped on it. I hope you've learned something, and maybe tune in next time, because I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Look at this. My God. I should just take a photo from over here. It's addicting. Nah, there's nothing over there.